Hi, this is Sean Bodley. I'm a recognized IBM Power Champion and a senior IT consultant for Clear Technologies based out of Dallas, Texas. And in a partnership with the ITSO, I'm about to perform a rolling migration from PowerHA version 7.13 to PowerHA version 7.2.1. But first, let me give an overview of the steps required to perform a rolling migration. Rolling migration is performing an upgrade one node at a time while the cluster is still active somewhere. So first thing we do is stop cluster services on one node. Typically in a two-node hot standby configuration, you will do this on the standby node first, and that's what my demonstration will show. Then you will go ahead and do an update or upgrade of AIX as needed. In my example, my AIX level already supports PowerHA 7.2.1, so I do not need to perform that update. But if you do need to update it and reboot. Then after the reboot, go ahead and then upgrade PowerHA by installing the latest images that you have available. You can decide to review the logs. I won't be showing that, but after the upgrade is completed, you simply rejoin the node into the cluster by starting the cluster services again. Wait for the cluster to stabilize, and then if you are going to perform on additional nodes, you essentially repeat these same steps. Okay, so here's an overview of my demo cluster. It's a two-node hot standby cluster running PowerHA 7.13 SP5 and AIX 7.2.0 SP2. And once the migration is completed, my PowerHA level will be 7.2.1. There are no SPs available, as this is the GA version of the product. And AIX level 7.2.0 SP2, which means, here again, I'm not updating my AIX level at all. All right, before I show the demo, here's just a quick set of resources. If you're watching this all, you're probably already on my YouTube channel. Probably the most useful thing is the PowerHA Wiki. Has links to all these demos, red books, red papers, white papers, announcement letters, stuff like that. So that is hopefully the most useful resource when it comes to PowerHA for AIX is the wiki. Okay, so now let me switch over to my recorded session that I have of my demo cluster. All right, here's my 7.1.3.5 cluster. It's stable. Both nodes are stable. I'm going to actually stop the cluster on my standby node first. Once it goes down into ST-init, that has been completed. And I'm just going to perform an update all at this point. Typically, I will do a preview, always accept new licenses. And then I just turn off the preview and execute it. So this will take a handful of seconds for this to update. You can see that my status of Jordan went away. That's because the cluster manager daemon is being updated. So it stops it, updates it, restarts it. Now I'm back to ST-init again. And so the cluster has completed. All right, so I'm going to simply rejoin this node into the cluster by running a CL Manager start node. Wait for the cluster to stabilize again. Okay, so now that it's stable, I'm now going to stop the cluster on the primary node Jessica. However, I'm going to tell it to move the resources. So now we're going to move the resources from Jessica to Jordan. This is a controlled stop and move, so this is an outage. This will stop the app, unmount, vary off the volume group, remove the service IP address, and then bring everything back up on Jordan. So you can see that the service address is there, the volume group is up. Now my demo resource group is online and Jessica is down. So now I will simply repeat this process on Jessica. I'm going to just do an update all to 721. Again, just do a preview, make sure I get an OK, and then I tell it to execute for real. Okay, so you can see that my HA level is showing 721. I will now go ahead and restart this node into the cluster. While that's running, I'll show you that my version level is still showing 15. 15 is actually indicative of 713. That does not get updated until all nodes in the cluster have been updated. So after this joins the cluster and stabilizes, it actually runs a post event to finish the migration. So if I check here on the primary node, you can already see that the CL version is 17. That's what I expect. And now if I recheck the standby node again, you can see that it too is 17. So at this point, that pretty much concludes the upgrade. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.